to Beyond the Pain. Oh man, oops. Okay, luckily that wasn't an animal. I don't have any. Yeah, what's up? I am your host, Chris Trovador, and for those who have not seen this show, Beyond the Pain is about me, and that's it. Just me being a tattoo artist and me having other friends come in and talk about the tattoos and the journeys that happen behind them. That's the real point of all this. I know I can be silly and all that, but it's really down to that. It's what goes behind and beyond those tattoos that mean so much. And I have met so many people throughout my journey as a tattoo artist. I've been doing tattoos since 2008, so more than a decade. And I cannot say anything else, okay? Because it's already going great. I'm already feeling the awesomeness about to happen in this episode, all right? Because our next guest is an actor, is a writer, is a comedian, and also a cool-ass person. Please give up. Just okay, let's do that all over again, Steve. You know what? Let's run that back. Please give it up for my friend, Marcelina Chavira!
Hello! Thank you for having me.
Yeah, no problem. Sorry for that long-ass intro. Sometimes I get carried away.
No, I was enjoying it. I was thoroughly enjoying. I was laughing. I was right with you.
Oh, okay, cool. Because I was over here breaking stuff, and sometimes I just go with it and see what happens. But thank you so much for being here. Before we get into the juicy details of your life, I would like to do an icebreaker.
Okay.
And this icebreaker, we're going to grade tattoos. And they're not just normal tattoos, they're pretty crazy, insane tattoos.
Nice.
So let's try that. Steve, hit it! That's actually pretty nice. I actually like this one.
Yeah, I really like that one. It's Cheshire Cat.
It is.
It looks like it's above Europe.
Yeah, that is interesting. Okay, yeah, that part, mixing it with that tattoo, but we're just going to grade this specific one, I guess. I like it. The details, the shading, it's pretty good.
A++. Go for it.
A++. All right, next one. Ooh. Okay. These are supposed to be crazy tattoos. What are we doing? These are nice. I like all these.
Nice. It's not my style, but they did a good job.
Yeah. It looks like it was done in maybe like 2 sessions because the leaves are like raised up and the butterfly is raised and compared.
Or maybe it was a cover. Like
it could be a cover
covered
too.
Something.
Could be.
Because the placement's kind of weird.
Mm-hmm.
I would have put it more towards the back.
Yeah.
Because I'm a tattoo artist, obviously. No.
That's why we have you on here.
I'm not, but I do. Yeah, it's beautiful.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
I give it an A too. Give
not
us
an
a crazy.
A++, but I'll do an A.
Yeah. Steve, next one. Brr. I mean.
Brr.
This is the infamous Gucci Mane rapper. And he got an ice cream cone on his face. It's very known.
I'm not mad. It's a statement. I like the lightning bolts coming out of it.
Absolutely.
Because I like that it's a 2 scoop cone that they like, because those are specialty items.
Yeah. Especially you can clearly tell that it's a waffle cone.
Yes.
So Gucci Mane, I give it, because it's interesting because they didn't make it all blue. They just made that specific highlights blue. Very interesting.
What flavor is chocolate and
I don't know what flavor that would be.
Well, I'm gonna give it an E for effort.
I'm gonna give it a thumbs up.
Okay.
Give us one more, Steve. Do you have another one? Okay.
The other one on the other side. Yeah,
The
no,
other
that
one
was
on
good
the
too.
other side. Well, thank you for playing in the little icebreaker we have. How are you? How have you been since the pandemic?
I'm good. I'm an introvert, so it wasn't hard for me to stay inside. I usually stay inside. I'm an indoor kid, as they say in wet hot American summer. I'm a nerd. I like sci-fi. I like air conditioning. I don't like the sun. I don't like bugs. I don't like people. So, uh, so the pandemic's been pretty good. But
Okay.
despite the horrific financial collapse and death and hopelessness and despair. But other than that, the pandemic's been pretty good to me.
And what was that? What are you doing, bro?
That was you.
Oh, I mean, I don't want to say I need a new producer, but I'm gonna need at least a mature one.
I think you're doing great, Steve. Don't listen to him. You're doing great. Yeah.
Oh my God! All right, we're gonna have to cut to a commercial. Um, so this podcast is basically about tattoos, right? I've met so many awesome people, such as yourself, and I saw you perform one time, and I was like, oh, the first thing I saw was the tattoo. What
Giant tattoo.
the giant tattoo? Yeah, I did see that. It's awesome.
Thank you.
It
It's
was
my
that
I'm
your first?
Mexican tattoo.
Is what?
It's my I'm Mexican tattoo.
Hey.
If you
It
couldn't
was that your
know.
first tattoo?
It was. It was my first tattoo. Originally it was just her, but then I was like, nah, she needs the roses. And then it does this cool like cuff thing in the back.
Yeah. Where'd you
So
get this at?
I got it in San Antonio, where most of my family is in South Texas. And the guy who did it was actually a patient of my mom in Castroville when he was a little boy. Which
Wow.
is Castroville, Texas, is a tiny town south of San Antonio, and she was a country doctor, and he went to her when he was a little boy. She was kind of mad, but that's okay.
I mean, that's what I find so interesting on how life is, and something like art, for example, pulls us together and that connection. And that's what I think this whole idea that me and Oye Dimelo Network came up with. And I think that's great. That's such an awesome story. So you're from Texas.
I'm from Texas. Yeah, I
Okay.
am born and raised South Texas, San Antonio, and then my more formative years in Dallas, Texas.
That's awesome. And how did you end up in Los Angeles?
Well, I did my higher education in my hair is crazy. I'm sorry, y'all. I thought I brushed it. I don't know what is going on. I definitely brushed it before and tried to make it look presentable.
Can we get makeup on set real quick?
Hair and makeup, please. No, okay. I did my higher education in on the East Coast, Northeast, in Philadelphia and New York. And if you hear children outside, it's my neighbor's kids. They're adorable. They're so cute.
Just invite them into the podcast.
Yeah. They all have tattoos as well. So this
starts early.
So I from Dallas, I went to the Northeast, and then I was in Colorado for a couple of years where I got my second tattoo, and then I came over here. That's and awesome. all my tattoos I gotta be honest, I only have two, but they're both pretty big, and the next couple that I'm thinking about are also going to be quite big. So
what made you do the jump to getting because usually when people get their first tattoo, I just want a little feel and I just want a little thumb. What made you go all in like that?
If I do something, I'm going to do it. And I didn't get this until I was 22 because my sister was the first one to get a tattoo in our family, and she gave me really good advice. She said, if you have an idea for a tattoo, wait at least a year. And if you still like it after a year, you can get it. And she said this because she warned me if I didn't do that, I'd have a little green man hanging off of my boob. And yeah. And like, so I thought that was good advice.
Yeah, no, it definitely is, because that withstands the urge to get something dumb, right? Or something that it doesn't mean something to somebody. And a few times, like, just warning people about right before they get their first tattoo, hey, maybe you should think about it. Hey, maybe you should. No, I want to get it right now. We're all getting it. I want to get it right now. And so then a year later, they want the cover up or whatever the case may be. So.
Yeah. No, if like tattoos, my sister, her first tattoo was kind of cool. It was a little green lizard on her ankle, and it was really cool. And then she got an S on the back of her neck for her best friend Sarah, which they had a fight, and so she got it covered up with a biohazard symbol, which is actually pretty cool. But I'm really visual. I'm really artistic, and so I wanted something bold and made a statement and that was meaningful to me. And the Virgen de Guadalupe is, it not only is it represent my Mexicanness, in that she is a dark-skinned Madonna, which is in the history of colonization is a very important symbol. She's also like the universal mother goddess, which is beautiful, and also it kind of looks like a vagina.
Yeah.
So that's good. Yeah.
That's dope. I really like it. That's definitely what when I seen you perform, I was like, oh snap, she got a little tattoo, but it's not just little; it covers her whole arm.
Yeah, and if I protest, she's looking after. She's like, you're gonna be okay, because people are like, it's upside down, and I'm like, not to me.
It makes exactly.
I don't know what you're talking, and plus, like the way the way people's arms are shaped, it makes more sense for her head to be up here, like open.
Did the tattoo artist find it difficult to tattoo upside down?
No, because you make that cool temporary tattoo thing first. So.
Stencil. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, stencil. Thank you.
I got you.
Yeah, but no, he put it on, and he was gonna put it on the other way, and I said, no, I want it the other way, and he said, that's upside down, and my sister was like, she made a decision, don't mess with it. I don't want her to back out of this, and I was like, I'm not gonna back. It's a $300. Well, the first part was a $300 investment. It's this 14 years old, and so
you got it black and gray first.
First, it was black and gray with, he did a really cool yellow, her robe has a really intricate pattern.
Right.
And he did it with that and then just yellow. And it looked really cool. And I was going to come back and get it colored in. And then when I came back, he had the flu, or he was just getting over the flu. So he went over the really delicate work he did with the red, and it didn't quite disappear, but I love it. I love it. I wouldn't change a thing about it. But I was like, you spent a good hour on that, and now it's gone.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes it happens. It's just in the moment. It's like improv, or like, you just go with the decision. And I liked it at the time, but then you want to go and refresh it or change it up. And I go through that all the time.
Refresh. She definitely needs a refresh. And I made sure I wanted her eyes closed, because I didn't want her staring at me at inappropriate moments.
You specifically made her eyes closed for that?
Yeah, because the stencil, it's like in an Americana style, which I love. I love the Americana style, but the stencil had her eyes open, and I was like, nah, nope, she does not need to see everything that I'm doing. She does not. And I made sure not to get the little angel underneath, because I always thought he was creepy.
Never liked him. Cherub.
Yeah. Oh, and I also made sure she didn't have a crown, because I thought that was classist. So
That's great. I'm glad you thoroughly went through the tattoo as
I
opposed to
did.
just, I mean, again, some people just go, oh, I just want the tattoo or I want that one. And they don't really go in depth on those things like closing the eyes so that they don't inappropriately.
It's gonna be there for a really long time. And so you might as well, you gotta think about it. And this one's so big, I'm like, you really gotta think these things through.
Absolutely. Yeah. Well, there's no such thing as tattoo school, but as an apprentice, there's a certain time period that you could say you're solely learning, and you'll go through the I guess trials, right? And how am I trying to explain this? Basically, certain tattoos, there are certain rules that you have to go along, sort of like with improv, right? When you're learning the yes and you're learning all that stuff, then you're like, okay, now throw it all away. So it's sort of like that. You have these guidelines for tattooing where it's like tattoos are supposed to be this way, and they're supposed to, if they're going to be sideways, they have to face forward. They have to face going this way. If not, then it's all wrong and it's all messed up. And you have a crappy tattoo. Even so, I think it's very interesting when someone makes the conscious choice of doing the opposite. And I think it's great because at times, we break the rules and no matter what it is. So I commend you for making the stern decision of doing that.
Making her upside down. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Yeah,
also, to put all my cards on the table, I have major depressive disorder. I'm a very depressed person. And in high school, I did a lot of self-harm and contemplated suicide. I think it's Mental Health Awareness Month still, or was that last month?
We can hey, it don't matter. Continue. We're going to spread the awareness now.
This is a very good deterrent against suicide. Having the Mother of God look at you. Well, close her eyes at you, since we made sure her eyes were closed. But I thought that was a subtle way to remind myself to wait a year before I make a big decision about anything.
Right.
For example, if I hadn't waited a year, I would have had Lone Star on my knuckles. And I'm glad I don't. It's still cool. It's still cool. I somebody else could do it and I'd be like, that's cool, but it wasn't for me, and I'm glad I didn't do it.
I've gone through all those things, and also what's very interesting is that on my forearm on this side, I have El Padre Nuestro que estás en el cielo, santificado sea tu nombre. It's a whole thing. I had to cut the prayer short because it was really long, and I didn't want it wrapping around my whole body. But it's sort of that same idea, right? Where it's like having these things, maybe, I mean, I don't know about you now, but like in general, how you feel about spirituality. And this is not the Jesus podcast, but it's more of having these things that resonate with our life growing up and having it a part of us, as opposed to when people get statues and different things. It's sort of the same concept, except one goes along with you all the time.
Iconography, especially in Latinx or Latino or Latina, I prefer Latinx, but if you don't, that's cool. You can be Latino and Latina. I don't judge. I didn't grow up speaking Spanish, and I found that a lot of us that didn't grow up speaking Spanish like Latinx, because X-Men are cool. And if we could have an X, Malcolm X is cool. Like, things with X in it are cool. So why not Latinx?
I feel you on it. I feel you.
But iconography is a big part of Latinx culture, and we're such a visual culture, and it's very important to us. And I personally am very anti-church in terms of, the mass graves they just found up in British Columbia of the indigenous children, and there are a bunch down here too, for residential schools. They did them down here too that we're gonna find. But Guadalupe and, just Mary in general is such a beautiful, beautiful, hopeful symbol that you can't deny the power of that. And, Jesus is cool. Jesus is totally cool. It's just the church that kind of sucks. Sure. That really sucks. But this is not the Jesus podcast.
This is not. I was actually going to ask you if you wanted to pray right quick before we go into a commercial break.
Yes, could we please?
So you get to LA, right? How you went to Colorado to LA in pursuit of
voiceover. I wanted to be a cartoon. Awesome. I wanted to be a cartoon. My first gig actually was really cool. I'm in Red Dead Redemption 2. I'm one of the walk around people that you can talk to. I don't think I did a good job. If you find me, I wanted people to tell me, and nobody has told me they found me, and I'm pretty sure it's because they're embarrassed for me. So if you do find me, don't tell me, please.
Okay. I mean, I can pull it up if you want.
No, don't do it. No.
That's pretty cool, though. So you went specifically for that gig?
No. I got here. I got hip pocketed at a agency, and they put me out for that, and I got it. And I got 2 things the first year I was here, and then nothing. But while I was waiting, I started doing comedy. I took classes at the Groundlings. I took classes at UCB. I eventually found a home at the PAC. I started writing more, doing a lot of improv and sketch, and I wrote a pilot called Macho Libre, which is about machismo and lucha libre. I'll give you the logline. Wait, no. Yeah, okay.
Hit me with the elevator pitch.
After his fathers die, a precocious and woke AF 11-year-old has to move in with his old school super macho ex-luchador grandfather and live above the old aging man's wrestling academy.
Sold.
Thank you.
Sold.
Thank you.
Right there. Well, give her the money.
Yeah. So the premise is like the little boy's father was kicked out of the house when he was 17 for being gay. But he went on and had a successful career and got married and had a kid. And then they both died tragically. And the kid has to go live with his estranged grandfather, who has to deal with the fact that he kicked his son out, and now he has this new kid who's really outspoken and knows who he is and knows his fathers did a very good job of teaching him about the world more so than his grandfather. So it's like a clash of generations.
That's awesome.
Thank you. Which was very important to me because my watching my brother and my father grow up when I was growing up, watching them try to be so macho all the time, to the detriment of their personality, to the detriment of them being happy, made a huge impact on me. And so I wanted to explore that. And I submitted it to the Blacklist Latinx TV list competition, and I got on the list. And after that, I got writing representation, and I wrote on my first TV show. So yeah,
congrats.
I'm glad I didn't do voiceover for the past years I've been here.
And you went to college, right?
Yeah,
Where did you go to
I
college?
went to undergrad. I went to Bryn Mawr. It's a women's college in Philadelphia. And then for graduate school, I went to NYU.
That is awesome. That is awesome.
Yeah, I got student loans.
Come on, more voiceover and selling pilots and doing all these other things. That's great. Well, we're going to put a pin in that. And before we get into the more juicy details of your life, we're going to hit a commercial break.
Woo, make that money.
Make that money. Pay the sponsors, which is just me and my art. And Oye Dimelo. Hey, shout out to Oye Dimelo and Steve, the producer. All right.
Hold up. I need you to check out my art.
c'est sur le dembo. Vamos bébé sur le rythme. Tu m'appelles Chico Papito en pensant que je suis dominicano. Ouf, 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 ouf. Comme Mona Lisa, tes yeux sont peligrosa. Eh, na 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 na, oh na 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 na. Eh, na 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 na, oh na 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 na. Tu vas danser sur le dembo, pull up DJ
Hi everybody, this is Ruben Mentive. I am the host of La Lista, a Latinx writers podcast.
Ay puñeta, ¿cuánto te trepan pantalones o te quepa, boricua pura?
What's going on, y'all? My name is Monica Marquez, aka Momo from Momo on the Move. Come check out The Hustle on all listening platforms and visually through YouTube.
To be on the pain. I am your host, Chris Trovador, and my amazing guest, I'll let her introduce herself.
Hi, I'm Marcelina Chavira. As
Yeah,
my father would
be on
say
the
when I was
plane.
in trouble.
Just like that?
Yeah. You have to ramp up to Marcelina Luisa Chavira.
See, I think that name is so much better in comparison to what my mom would confuse me with. and she would always confuse me with the dog.
Oh,
So, oh yeah,
My
drop shot,
dad-
come here, come here, drop shot.
my dad
Yeah.
would do that sometimes. He's got too many kids. So he'd be like, "Tú, Rebecca, ¿cómo te llamas?"
That's so funny. Do you have a big family?
No, I'm my mom's only kid. I'm my dad's 1, 2, 3, 4th. He has 5, including me. Yes.
So sort of like those are your half siblings.
Yeah.
No, so sort of an only child, sort of.
Yeah, I'm sort of an only child. I'm spoiled in a lot of ways.
Well, that's a stereotype.
Yes.
I am
That's
also an
true.
only child.
Oh yay!
And I would say I'm more spoiled now as an adult for sure. But growing up, it was just me and my mother. And I would say that contributed to the art. Did that contribute to you being an artist?
Yeah, my mom worked all the time. She is a family practice doctor, and I know people are like, ooh, rich, but family practice is the lowest paid because they take care of families, and they're like primary care physicians or like internal medicine, but more family oriented. So she was working all the time, and I did a lot of after school care things, whether they were related to school or like programs. So I did a lot of art, and I was alone a lot. So I had to make my own fun, and I like doing art. That's a fun thing to do when you're alone. When you're a lonely latchkey kid.
I definitely, not the latchkey part, but I definitely get the lone part. Did you, what kind of art do you do specifically?
I work with cardboard. I mean, I can draw, but like you can see one of, that's a puppet. That's one of my, I did those wings.
That's awesome.
Those are monarch wings. And I did that giraffe puppet. I've got my ham puppet right here.
Ham puppet.
He's my
The
favorite.
rest of this series needs to just be you talking like that with the puppet.
Hi, I'm a Christmas ham. I know I kind of sound like Mr. Hanky, but that's what came out of Marcelina's mouth.
Well, Christmas ham, do you have a tattoo? I see a few pineapple tattoos.
Oh, yes. Pineapples are my favorite. I am from Hawaii, and they represent my homeland.
Well,
Sure.
thanks for being here on the show with us. It's great
Thank
seeing
you, Chris. Thank you so much. Bye.
This is a great show. Look at that. And so you started off doing puppets like that growing up?
No. I guess I did a bunch of things. Like I drew, I made things with clay. I like working with found things. So I love working with cardboard because it's free and it's everywhere. And if you want to make something huge, you get a giant piece of cardboard and it's easy to make. But I don't know. It's just been since I've been in LA that I had a outlet to make, like, an excuse to make something. I do a lot of sketch. And so sketch teams at the Pack Theater and other places would hire me to make props and costume pieces for them. And that was one of my side gigs before the pandemic. And it's stressful, but it's also really fun.
Yeah, I'm sure it's very stressful to
this
merge
guy was
cardboard together.
This guy was for a sketch. I got a Spam puppet here and a pork chop puppet and a prosciutto puppet somewhere around here. For Annie Griggs.
For sure.
If you know Annie Griggs, she's a brilliant comedian and writer. She wrote a sketch about a family of pork products, and so I had to make it come alive. I had to. It was a calling. An angel came down and said, "Marcelina, you must make all these puppets out of cardboard to look like ham."
It looks great, and the fact that we can not only see the emotions that come from the puppet, but also it does look like ham. So A plus
Thank you.
here.
Thank you.
I
Oh wait,
think
I
it's
was gonna ask you.
yeah.
On the was that a portrait of Mom's Mabley? The black and white portrait?
That kudos for you.
I loved it. I was like, oh, I like because you had Chappelle before, and I was like, oh, Mom's
Yeah.
okay. I
So
see you too.
look at this. This is very interesting because that series that I've done with Mom's Mabley, I have a Robin Williams one. I have Richard Pryor one, and I sold recently the I Love Lucy one.
Oh wow.
Well, it's Lucy and Ricky together.
Okay.
And that was around 2019. I was doing it for mental health awareness.
Oh,
I
cool.
wanted to showcase a lot of comedians and actors that always have to present themselves as something else. And if you know about Moms, she presented herself to be this older woman all the time, when really behind the scenes, she was a completely different person.
Yep.
And so that concept with so many others, like, for example, Lucy and Ricky, they were miserable behind the scenes, from what I hear. So
Yes.
I try to sort of paint what people consider as ugly or creepy or evil, and I put it on the outside of these characters that feel like home to us because of how many laughs they give us, in our daily life.
Oh, that's awesome. I love that. That's
Yeah.
really cool.
Thanks.
Well, I was great. I liked all your art. So
Thank you.
go buy art, people.
Yeah, go buy puppets.
Go buy puppets.
I
You don't
did
have to be my puppets. Just buy puppets.
Just
I don't
buy
care
it.
whose puppets. Everybody needs puppets.
I did puppets as a kid growing up as well. I find that only children, being that they don't have anyone to bother or anyone to bother them, that finding outlets is definitely key for their own mental health. Because I know, like, for you were talking about certain things about yourself, I went through those specific things as well, and art was definitely my outlet out of it.
Yeah.
Through drawing and whatnot, and even just being funny, right? Just being your own characters, being the person in TV or whatever you see on TV, then you become that. Do you find the same thing?
Yeah, I did. When I was younger, it was music. I used to play classical bass and the piano, and I like really threw myself into orchestra for a long time, which is one of the nerdiest things you could possibly do. But yeah, that definitely art is a really, and mental illness in artists gets romanticized, and a lot of the comedians we talk about are very mentally ill, and people's personalities or bad things about people get romanticized because of art. And what am I trying to say? You can be an artist and not be a dick, I think, is what I'm trying to say.
Sure. Yeah, you don't necessarily need, like, so there are some people who feel like I need to go through this specific struggle to be a better artist.
Yeah, but you don't. You don't have to. You could be happy and be an artist, and your art you could still talk to that part of yourself that is in the darkest depths of despair, because it's always going to be there if you're mentally ill, but you don't have to live there. And it's actually better for you if you don't.
Yeah.
And those around you.
Yeah, especially those around us. I find it very interesting that being a tattoo artist, that people come to me for different kind of therapy for themselves, especially
it's very
people
cathartic. It's
Boom.
Very cathartic. Yeah, oh man, and if anybody tells you, oh, it stops hurting after the first no, Fuck you. Oh, excuse me. No.
It's not the Jesus podcast.
Oh, yeah, okay. No, it hurts the whole time. It hurts the whole.
Yeah.
It hurt all 6 hours.
Yeah. Well, you learn how to channel that. If you can calm your, it's all a mental game, right? And it's like if you're able to channel an outlet or channel the pain into something, especially if it means something to you, it can definitely be a lot easier.
Yeah. It is a process. There's a lot of spiritual practices around the world that, have an aspect of pain or a purgative, like a purging aspect to the ceremony or the tradition. Like I don't know, your first communion's pretty boring and painful, but it's not as transformative, I think.
Sure, absolutely.
As a tattoo, because like it's I don't know, it was a great process. And then afterward, when the scab comes off and it's all the same colors as your tattoo, that's pretty cool too.
First off, your tattoo shouldn't be scabbing, but we'll talk about that another time.
This one did it. That one did it.
Respect. So let's unpin you. You're doing art. You're doing puppets. You're traveling. You're going to college. You come to LA. You do Red Dead Redemption. You do. You write your pilot. You're performing at the same time. Then what?
Then the pandemic happened.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that brings us up to today. Actually, I got the Latinx list last June. It's been a year. That's when I saw
you on Hulu, right?
Yeah. That was the Hulu interview. Yeah, that was there's some great people on that list, and I think they're on the third one now, which is pretty cool. But we were the first class, and it really did change my life. I can't speak for the other people on the list, but it changed my life.
Yeah, for the better, I remember just watching. I think Hulu had like Ozuna, and they had a whole bunch of other reggaeton artists. And I was like, okay, cool, I'll watch. I'll support. It's the pandemic. We're not doing nothing. And then your picture pops up with little. I was like, oh, and we rewinded, take a picture, tagged you in it. But that was really cool. I think that's really awesome on how just that one thing can elevate you into making all the rejections, all the no's from life. And that one little yes can make us like, okay, I can take this pain 15 more years. It
was really weird because I actually I just had my script on the blacklist and opted in for the Latinx TV list. I worked really hard on on a different program, a different list application. So when they're like, you won. And I was like, oh, okay. I didn't know what it was. Because in high school, I wasn't on, what is it when you get like a perfect SAT score? What was that called?
Perfect. Well, clearly I didn't get a perfect SAT score.
What is it? Oh man, it was not honor roll. It's like
Dean's List.
No, it's like a national thing. Like it's a national. Anyway, I didn't get on the official one, but I got on the Hispanic one, and I was like, wait a minute, I'm not smart enough to be on just like on the main one, but I am on the Hispanic one. That didn't feel like an honor. I didn't feel that. No, what is it called? It's not national. It's National Merit Scholar. National Merit Scholar.
Okay. But regardless, I get what you mean.
Yeah, so I was like, oh, okay, I got on Latinx list. Okay, and then my mom asked me a week later, what did you get? And I was like, I don't know. Let me see. Oh, this is actually a big deal. Okay, that thing. Okay. 10 script. Okay, yeah, okay.
That's the beauty of it. It's like being in such a hustle, right? And you're like, okay, I get rejected all the time. I get rejected, and then you're doing so much that you're like, oh, a seed has sprouted in this flower pot that you've been gardening, and you didn't even know that was growing.
Yeah. It was lovely. It was a lovely experience for me, and I hope it's lovely for subsequent list makers.
More to come for sure. You were also in something recently with Ithamar, weren't you?
Yes, I was.
Are you allowed to talk about that?
Not yet.
Y'all the one posted pictures, so it's y'all.
Yeah, well, he posted the pictures. But that was really fun, and light candles if that's what is that you're, because that's what we do.
That's cool. That's
something cool might come. Thank you. Yes, yeah. Ithmar's great. All those guys in that project are great. Awesome. So look out for a vaguely Latinx funny thing sometime, maybe.
We can't, for those that don't know, usually when you're on a project in the acting world, if you can't really talk about it until it actually comes out because there's a non-disclosure agreement.
It's not like I don't think it's a secret, but it's also like, I don't know. I don't want to say anything yet. I don't say anything yet.
I mean, this might not get released until then too.
Oh, there you go. Nah, I'll let you know later. I'll let you know.
Let's just bleep it. But that's cool, though. It's really cool to see, because Ithamar, for those that don't know who Ithamar is also from Texas. And he is an amazing, phenomenal teacher, comedian, clown performer. His physicality is insane. He's in so many shows right now on Netflix.
He's a good writer too. He's funny.
He's very funny. I have to tattoo him because he wants a tattoo. So once I tattoo him, I'll get him on the show.
You gotta tattoo him. Yes. Yeah. Oh, and he was just in WandaVision.
Oh, that's right. Mm-hmm. For those that don't, if you've seen WandaVision, he's the guy in the commercials.
Mm-hmm. He's so good. Oh, WandaVision. I love that. That was good.
That's so good. And so we met through Latinx Pachanga, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Latinx Comedy Pachanga, yeah. Or because you're on Spanglish.
I'm on Spanglish as well.
A brilliant improv team, one of my favorite improv teams in LA, of which there are millions. So I suspect millions of improv teams. But yeah, Spanglish is one of my favorites.
Thank you. I think one of the first shows I had seen you in was the Selena meets J-Lo.
Bitty Bang Bang.
That one.
Bitty Bang Bang. Yes, written by Jerry Hernandez and Maria Felix. And Ali Lou did the music. And it was a alternate story of Selena where she's actually the villain, and it was so fun to play. I was a little girl in Texas when Selena was coming up. Like I was little when she died. Well, not little. I was. It really made a big impact on me. Selena.
Yeah, I don't want you to tell your age.
Yeah. No, this is fine. Selena made a big impact on me, and like I honestly think that if she had lived and like broken through, my life would be very different. Because like, being her and Richie Valens, he was 17. We don't got Mexicans out there. We need more Mexicans out there.
Yeah.
Well, there are a lot of us out here, but like in terms of representation, I think she would have opened a lot. J-Lo's great. J-Lo's fantastic.
Right, but I understand what you mean. Yeah.
It's a little different. Like, and people during the election, people were like, "What? The Cubans voted different than the Mexicans? What? But they're the same, right?" Like, no, we're real different.
Oh, the struggle.
We're super different. And Mexicans are kind of bad because we assume everybody else is Mexican. So if I assumed you're Mexican at some point, I apologize. I meant it as a compliment. And
that's interesting because I've never gotten that. I've only gotten that from white people.
Not you in particular, just you, the royal
No,
you. I'm sorry, not you.
No, I know. I mean, what's very interesting about that is like in Florida, where I'm from, there's a very wide range of Caribbean descent, right? Everyone from the Caribbean is all out here. So when I went to LA, people saw me completely differently. People assumed I was black, and to a certain extent, yes, that is correct. But that's solely what people would assume. When I start speaking Spanish, that they're like, "Oh, what's going on here?" And they only see, Puerto Ricans playing Mexican characters or on reggaeton videos.
Yep. Or the myriad of Cuban actors on TV. There's so many Cuban actors, but they're usually white Cuban or light-skinned Cubans, which is, man, our people are racist, y'all. Colorism is a thing.
Oh, is that what we're talking about? Yes.
My tias wouldn't let me go outside. You're like, don't cover her, don't let her go outside. I'm like, okay.
That's
this is
very
a thing. It is a thing.
I mean, not to put my grandparents on blast, but my grandfather, they would do that. They would do that.
Yeah.
No vaya para afuera porque te pone más puro, and don't. And there's a whole plethora of things I could get into with that specific topic. But being in the acting world, features, your appearance affects you. Do you think that tattoos have affected your acting career for an audition or how people view you?
I think so. Yeah. I when I go on auditions, I wear long sleeves, and whenever I book something, I'm always like big tattoos on the left arm. I cover up the left arm or have something ready. And I definitely like earlier this century, people were a little more scared of tattoos, and I also had a lip ring for a really long time. If that means anything.
Oh, I'm sure casting love that.
No, I haven't had it for a long time, but
I had an eyebrow ring. It's all good. I understand.
I was cute. It looked really good. I looked really cute, guys. It
MySpace Day was popular.
It was a time. But yeah. I for Bitty Bitty Bang Bang, actually, I bought airbrush makeup to cover it up because I was like, Selena did not have tattoos. I'm not going to do that to her. That is not. And I learned how to do that for that. But yeah, I just nowadays I think tattoos are a lot more. I've definitely gotten a couple of things because of the tattoos. They're like, "Ooh, you look edgy." So we're gonna. Only on this half of me,
You're edgy on this side, but this side. That's great. It's worked in your favor. It's definitely worked in my favor for certain things like that. Like for like certain video games, they need someone to, he looks tough or he looks like a hipster, whatever the case. But what's very funny about this, and I'm saying this on the Beyond the Pain series, I am a tattoo artist that has auditioned to be a tattoo artist maybe 10, 20 times. Never got not one. Because I don't look like a tattoo artist. And
you don't have you don't have the thick glasses and the beanie?
Oh, I wish it was that because I could have bought that. It's always the bald head and they want me to look like a biker. Yeah.
A biker? No, my tattoo artists look more like you.
And so this is the dilemma I have to deal with in Hollywood as a tattoo artist / actor.
Damn. I don't know. I'm sure there are very fine biker tattoo artists.
Sure.
But hepatitis is a thing that I think is more prevalent among bikers and less prevalent among tattoo artists. So I think Hollywood should get its priorities straight.
Yeah, they really need to check the hepatitis first before even getting the audition out there. Well,
Definitely.
please let us know where we can find you, where your websites, anything that you want to promote. Please let us know.
Yeah. You can. It's handy. It's at the bottom. My IG is at the Death of Marat. My Twitter is Mark Olina. I'm not gonna change it to anything easier because I can't. I'm not that creative. And like I said, I got my first big girl writing job on Supergiant Robot Brothers. That will be. It's an animated show premiering on Netflix next year. I think in January. Sci-fi. It's robots fighting kaiju, giant robots fighting giant monsters.
That's awesome. And
Yeah,
you wrote the episode? Do you write a portion of it?
I was in the writer's room for the whole thing, and I wrote 2 episodes. So by myself. It's all a collaborative process, but like they're like, you go write that episode, and then you bring it back, and then everybody pitches on it, and then you change it, and then you send it to the execs. And they say, there's not enough robots. You got to put in more robots. So like, it's about the robots. Like, there's not enough. So you put in more robots.
Absolutely.
You send it back and forth and massage it. So like nothing, this might be surprising to some people who aren't in the biz, but like everything is a highly collaborative process. Like nothing is done by yourself unless you're Bo Burnham, apparently.
If I would have known people would have watched me in my room doing stuff, I would have been did that. But sorry, I don't want to.
No. But I really appreciate he seems to be a super like really into lighting and like a nerd about lighting. And I'm like, okay, no, you go on. Yeah.
It takes skill. It
that.
does take to hit the lights and do all that. For sure.
It looked beautiful. And he did it all. But I'm like, okay, yeah, if that's your thing, go do lights. Because his Kanye bit, that light thing in the other thing he did was super fun. So I was like, oh, that's your thing. Go, yeah.
How was it that process? Like going into your first gig?
It was a blast. It was so much fun. My first room was during the pandemic. So the whole thing was over Zoom. I've never actually met my show. Oh my God. Do you know, have you ever seen the show Metalocalypse?
Yeah.
Yeah. One of the creators, Tommy Blaha, was my showrunner. So, and like the head writer, and he's one of my heroes and he's super cool. And I got to work with one of my heroes right off the bat. It was really cool.
Awesome.
Yeah. And I met him once. He and his girlfriend came by with their dogs for Christmas to give us all presents. Like he was Santa and went to each of the writers' places with a little gift. And that was fun. But yeah, he's so funny. I love Metalocalypse. I love metal because I'm Mexican and we have to, or else we lose our membership.
Okay. So then what's your favorite band?
Well, let's see. I'm really into Norwegian black metal right now.
Okay,
which is kind of it's very problematic because there's a lot of white supremacists in check out my cousin Bull of
cousin.
My cousin's band name. Oh no, he's really good. I don't know what it is because it just comes up on the Spotify. Oh no.
Damn, family drama is about to happen on Beyond the Pain.
Their first album is Bull of Apis, Bull of Bronze, and it's really good. And he's one of my white cousins, and he's not a white supremacist. So if you want black metal that isn't problematic and with cool like progressive kids, listen, get the album Bull of Apis, Bull of Bronze, because it's a really good album. I write to it.
So you write to that music specifically, like that style, or does it change? How does it work?
It changes. In college, it was all Radiohead and Elliott Smith. In middle school, it was Elton John for some reason.
Okay.
Right now, I'm writing to black metal, which is fun. We'll see. We'll see what the next script brings.
For sure. I tend to just do lo-fi, or what's interesting, because I graduated as an audio engineer in 2008, and I just love music in general. I love all genres, and I think like each year I just go back in time into a different genre, or even farther back, 1600s, 1400s, and I just dive in and let
You like them sack butts?
Yeah.
Sack butts and them recorders.
Stuff like that, or like for bomba y plena, like where you have like Puerto Rican, like old tribal style.
Yeah.
I love different things because it also I feel like it's like exercising my brain when I write. So it's definitely an interesting thing that you also do that, but then also specifically to metal right now.
Right
Norwegian,
now, it's
or your cousin's band.
My cousin's. Oh my god! I have the T-shirt is in my. I'm sorry, Cooper. I'm sorry.
Well, we gotta get. Does he have tattoos?
He does, I think.
Oh well, then recommend him for the podcast. We'll put him on here.
I haven't seen him in Cooper Stapleton. Which is a really cool name, Cooper Stapleton, black metal artist out of the Pacific Northwest, East, West.
He won't hate you. At least you promoted it, and you got that album, and you'll be all right.
It's really great.
That's cool. Well, thank you so much for being on the show here and Beyond the Pain.
Thank you so much for having me. This is so much fun, and I love talking about art with an artist. It's fun.
Yeah. Usually I spend my time talking to other people about art, never an artist. But yeah, I'm just a big fan of yours, and so happy that we could. Oh, thank you. I was just so happy that we could get on, similar frequencies, with mental health, with only childness, with art, and with tattoos. So
thank you. Yeah.
Appreciate you. Anything else you want to plug in before we go, other than your cousin's band?
No. Oh man, I'm gonna, as soon as we leave, I'm gonna remember the name. Oh my! I'm sorry, Cooper.
Any projects we should look forward to? The one you did mention.
Oh, Supergiant Robot Brothers is gonna come out. Yeah, that one. I'm in a play this summer. I'm not sure about the ticket availability for that, but everything will be on my website. Just marcelinachavira.com or marcelinachavira.com if you want to pronounce it correctly.
You got to do it the way your mom does it.
Oh no, that's my dad. But
your dad.
Don't put my middle name in, but Marcelina Luisa Chavira.
There you go. Yeah.
Thank
you so much.
Thank you.
I appreciate you. And this has been Beyond the Pain. Yeah.
Oh, did you like that episode? Well, I have so much more. I have custom fashion, I have tattoos, I have comedy. Like and subscribe and share. Thank you for watching.
He messed up. He put it twice.
It looks good.